A High Court judge has lambasted the Teddy Bear Clinic. This is after a scholar patroller was acquitted of 3 counts of rape and 11 counts of sexual assault. The 58-year-old man was accused of performing acts on female pupils during school hours. Judge Peet Johnson says the clinic, along with teachers and police, contaminated the case, and the clinic may have coached the minors. The Teddy Bear Clinic's Dr. Shaheeda Omar joins us now for more on the story. Dr. Omar, thank you so much for your time tonight. The defense also saying yesterday that the children were coached, in fact, taking it further to say that they were coached to lie. Is that what you did?
Well, I think we need to clarify one thing here, that the judge based his inference on personal opinion. The inferences were not based on the opinions of professional and expert witnesses, which the judge should have done. He should have followed due processes to call in expert witnesses, independent expert witnesses, to speak to the inconsistencies that child victims of sexual abuse would often display or demonstrate, where children will provide one statement now and later on during the process will add other information, and that is a normal response to an abnormal situation. The judge, or no judge by any means, is trained to be a psychologist, a social worker, or a mental health professional, and therefore should rely on these expert witnesses, which was recommended to the court to bring in expert witnesses, and that was dismissed. It was also clearly evident that during the course of the proceedings, the judge was already biased in his responses, where he prejudged the case. The prosecutor requested that the judge recuse himself on these grounds, which was once again dismissed. So one needs to understand, as far as the Teddy Bear Foundation is concerned, we worked with 3 of the 14 charges through this criminal proceeding, so 3 victims, and forensic assessments were conducted. So what is a forensic evaluation? It is the quest for truth, where details are imperative. However, the details are followed according to a protocol where open-ended questions are asked. It's the what, the who, the when, the how. And so there is no opportunity for contamination. Yes, the quest for truth is critical. We act as consultants of the court in a capacity of neutrality, where we are not aligned to any single party, but to conduct the assessment, to compile a report and present it to the court, and then to be called in as expert witnesses.
So Dr. Omar, why then would it come across that all of the survivors in this case were said to have been saying similar stories, so much so, and it was an issue that was questioned by the defense. So when you go through this process of evidence collection, do you tell the children what to say, or how do you coach them in terms of
coaching is a no-no. It's a never-go zone. We don't go into coaching. Coaching means you are telling the child to tell a lie or what to say, and that is not part of evaluation. That is not part of the court preparation process. In fact, with the court preparation process, the court prep counselor does not have any information regarding the merits of the case. So it's impossible for the court prep counselor even to coach the child. And I think you need to understand here that children who have been victims of sexual trauma, there's dissociation of their trauma. There's repression of memory of the pain. And when they feel safer, later along sometimes, more information will unfold. And if children have given similar stories, it's because the modus operandi has been very similar. Children gave graphic detail around their experiences, which was age-inappropriate knowledge. Where did they get that from? not from the Teddy Bear Foundation. It was due to their own experience. So you need to be very, I think, need to understand that there was no window of opportunity. And as the foundation, we are looking at the best interests of the child, looking at child protection, and ensuring that there's no secondary victimization or trauma. But in this matter, we can clearly see that the judge had proper opportunity to use the support or advice of an assessor to bring in an independent expert to sit next to him, which was not utilized because he is not trained to communicate with children or understand children's trauma. So I think this is something, it's a travesty of justice where the judiciary has failed children, not only these children, not only the children's families, but it's an indictment on society that we are going to fail more children because of the failure now and letting a perpetrator who has victimized more than 87 children in the same school, we are now letting him off the hook and blaming everybody else.
You know, and let's talk about that blame, because part of what the judge is saying is that between yourselves, the South African Police Service and the NPA, you know, he apportions the failure of the ability to get some kind of conviction on these three parties. So how do you respond to that?
Well, as far as SAPS is concerned, I cannot speak on...
No, I mean specifically on behalf of the Teddy Bear Clinic.
Well, the Teddy Bear Clinic, when he speaks about errors, he made about the allegation or the accusation of...
Comedy of errors.
Comedy of errors. The errors where he spoke to inconsistencies, which is very normal. We will find that, and you find that repeatedly. As I said, he's not a therapist. He's not a mental health professional. He should have brought in mental health professionals to explain that to the court, that is this normal? Is there a probability of coaching? To understand what coaching is all about and to understand the discrepancies and contradictions that may surface during the process of testifying, and that would certainly have shed more light on the children's situation and circumstances.
Dr. Omar, this is an area in a field that you have been working in for many years, and that the Teddy Bear Clinic has been engaged with for many years. So to have this mark against your name, I imagine, can not be sitting well with you right now. Are you going to appeal what the judge has said in this matter?
Absolutely. We have already spoken to the NPA. They are having a meeting with the DPP. We have spoken to the Department of Education, and we have nothing to fear. We will continue to do as we've always done, vested in the best interests of children, following due process, because we have gone according to the book. We have followed our protocols, processes, and procedures. We've dealt with the children appropriately, ensuring their best interests at all times, ensuring that there was no coaching, contamination, leading children, and ensuring that they would not be subjected to further victimization.
There also seems to be another thread to the story that's unfolding on the periphery of the case, but I think has also now become the core of it too, in terms of the fight. You know, there seems to be a proxy fight between certain parents of the school and the principal and who should become a principal. And it's been proposed, at least even in court, that these children now were used as a ploy or you know, as a tool in this battle between different members of the school governing body who want one principal to stay out of the school. As far as that is concerned, how much weight or relevance would you apply it to this case, especially in the context of how much consideration the court has given it?
I wouldn't actually give it much weight and relevance to the case. Definitely not. I think the important thing here to look at is were due processes followed, and we can speak with absolute confidence that due processes were followed through, and we looked at the best interests of children, we protected them at all times, but we acted in a capacity of credible professionals, ascertaining the veracity and credibility of children and presenting our findings to the court.
What happens from here on? Because as we speak, of course, the suspect has been acquitted. He is released back into society. And you certainly seem to believe the stories that these youngsters have told you. What happens in terms of their own protection and counseling going forward?
Well, I think they all, if we just listen to some of the responses elicited from family members, people are absolutely angry, and rightfully so. And I think as far as the victims are concerned, they will certainly feel that they have not been believed, that they've been let down, and they will require further support. They will require therapy. They would require debriefing around this very issue. And one cannot predict what more they will require as we move along. So it is really a sad state of affairs, I think, where I've said that it's been an indictment on children, on society, and we need to stand together collectively and take action.
All right. We've run out of time, but is this case going to be, is there a possibility of this case being brought up again, these charges resurfacing again?
Indeed.
All right. Let's see if they're for tonight. That was the Teddy Bear Clinic's Dr. Shaheeda Omar there.